AI news starts with a policy shift that every AI video creator needs to understand. YouTube says it will make its AI content labels more visible, and it will also apply labels automatically when it detects realistic synthetic or altered material. That does not mean every AI-assisted edit gets treated the same way. The line YouTube is drawing is around content that could make viewers believe a realistic person, place, or event happened in a way that it did not. For creators, the message is pretty clear. AI video is moving from the novelty phase into the disclosure phase. The platforms are not banning the tools, they are building labeling systems around them. If your workflow includes generated shots, synthetic narration, altered footage, or AI-created scenes, the safest posture is to assume transparency will become part of the publishing process. The bigger story is trust. Viewers are going to see more AI-generated media, not less. So the channels that survive will be the ones that are clear about what is real, what is synthetic, and why the synthetic part is there. The first signal today is YouTube's AI labeling move. This matters because video platforms are becoming the enforcement layer for synthetic media. For a long time, the industry treated AI labels as a creator checkbox. Now, detection systems are starting to participate too. That changes the creator economy. A channel can still use AI, but the workflow needs to be defensible. The media should not trick the viewer. The edit should support the story, and the disclosure should not feel like an afterthought. For AI news channels, this is especially important. If we are reporting on AI while using AI production tools, the credibility bar is higher. The audience should be able to tell that the journalism is sourced, the visuals are illustrative, and the narration is not pretending to be a human in the room. In plain English, the winner is not the channel with the most synthetic footage. The winner is the channel that uses AI like a production system, not like a disguise. The second story is the agent stack getting more serious. A new research paper called MUSE-Autoskill describes agents that can create skills, store them, manage them, evaluate them, and improve them over time. That sounds academic, but it points at a very practical problem. Most agents today are still fragile because their abilities are scattered across prompts, scripts, tools, memory files, and human habits. What MUSE-Autoskill is really saying is that agents need a life cycle for skills, not just a list of tools. A life cycle. Create the skill, test the skill, reuse the skill, retire it when it stops working, bring it back when it becomes useful again. That is the same direction the market is moving. People do not want a chatbot that starts over every morning. They want an operator that learns the shape of the work, remembers the recurring steps, and knows when a previous solution is safe to reuse. The important part is evaluation. A self-improving agent without evaluation is just a faster way to accumulate mistakes. But an agent that can create a skill, run it, score it, and cite what changed starts to look like real operational software. The third story is small models getting more interesting. Mini CPM 5-1B has been getting attention as a compact model built for efficient, low-latency inference. A 1 billion parameter model is not trying to beat the largest frontier systems at everything. That is not the point. The point is that small models are becoming useful enough to own specific jobs. This is where the economics shift. Not every task needs a giant reasoning model. Some tasks need speed, some need privacy, some need to run locally, some need to be cheap enough to call thousands of times a day. That opens a different kind of AI stack. The big model handles planning, judgment, and hard reasoning. Smaller models handle routing, classification, extraction, summaries, checks, and background automation. For builders, that is a meaningful change. The future is probably not one model doing everything. It is model orchestration, where the system chooses the right level of intelligence for the job. That is how AI moves from impressive demos into affordable daily operations. The fourth story is open weight pressure. DeepSeek V4 Pro is showing up in the open model conversation, and even when a release needs more independent benchmarking, the market signal is hard to miss. Open models keep pushing downward on the cost of capable inference. That matters because the frontier labs are trying to sell premium intelligence, enterprise deployment, and deeply integrated platforms. Open weight models push in the other direction. They give builders more control, more deployment options, and more leverage in price negotiations. This does not mean every company should run its own models. Operating infrastructure is work. Security is work. Evaluation is work. But the option matters. When open models are strong enough, local or private inference becomes a serious alternative for teams that care about cost, data control, or specialized workloads. The next phase is not just model versus model, it is deployment model versus deployment model. API, local, hybrid, managed, private, open, closed, that is where the real competition is moving. The fifth story is OpenAI's deployment company and what it says about the enterprise AI race. OpenAI is not only selling models, it is moving closer to implementation. The deployment company is framed around helping businesses turn frontier AI into measurable operational impact. That is a big tell. The bottleneck in enterprise AI is no longer access to a model. The bottleneck is adoption. What data is safe to use? Which workflows should change? Who owns the result? How do you measure the improvement? How do you keep the system from drifting into risk? This is why deployment services are becoming part of the product. Companies do not just want intelligence, they want the path from idea to production. The opportunity for smaller AI operators is not to pretend they can outspend OpenAI. The opportunity is to specialize. Local-first deployments, regulated workflows, cost discipline, transparent data boundaries, human review where it matters. That is where focused teams can still compete. The pattern across all 5 stories is simple. AI is getting less abstract. Video platforms are labeling it. Agents are learning to manage skills. Small models are finding real jobs. Open models are pressuring the economics. And frontier labs are moving deeper into deployment. The demo phase is ending. The operating phase is here.